Hello, welcome back to Nostalgia Drive. This is episode 14 of my Sayonara to playthrough. So the last time we just ended off, and it was with Koji going back to Ogai's like apartment, like house. But I know that Fuminori is like intending on killing Koji near like the dark time. So we'll just need to see what happens here. Koji has nothing to do but wait. He spent almost half a day in the dark, empty study, breathing stale, ear-choked with mould as he strains his ears for the slightest hint of movement below. Few people could endure such a vigil, but Koji has accomplished it without complaint. If anything, the suffering is welcome, for it keeps his nerves honed to a razor's edge. Without a doubt, his single-minded focus is the only thing allowing him to push to the limits of his stamina. Koji understands this and embraces the pain. His closest friend has shattered his world like glass, and now Koji feels only hate towards the madness that has replaced it, and towards and towards himself for allowing it to happen. Self-loathing is the most reliable source of willpower than any faith or resolve, no matter how noble. When he arrived at Ogai's house, Koji snuck inside carefully, hoping to perhaps take his enemy by surprise. It was only after he got inside that he realised that the house was still abandoned. Even so, Koji was sure that Fuminori would arrive earlier than promised in order to set an ambush. No, but I think Fuminori is. I feel like he's just going to like appear like really in the dark in the night. He's going to do it when like Koji's least expecting it, I think. However, the light streaming through the windows turned red, then faded to darkness with no sign of anyone coming. Koji's patience has grown weaker and weaker by the moment. There's no way that Koji's not going to die here. I really do feel like he's going to die. And now the appointed time has arrived. Just as Koji's frustration is about to peak, his phone begins to vibrate and flash. It's Fuminori then. As from Fuminori, he's calling rather than showing himself. Rage threatens to overwhelm him for an instant, but Koji manages to keep his voice calm as he answers.
まさか待ち伏せなんていう無駄なことをして神経すり減らしてないか。お前のことが心配になってさ。
Fuminori says, chuckling scornfully.
遅くなったが、そろそろ本当の待ち合わせ場所を教えておかなくちゃと思ってさ。間に合ったかい?
Ah, right, so he's meeting up with him with somewhere else.
ふざけたまねよ。まあ怒るなよ。当然の用心だろ。
Yeah, Fuminori's got a plan, he's got it set in stone way, like Saya, definitely he's got it set in stone. Fuminori laughs with an unrestrained malevolence, as though to emphasise that he's seen through Koji's plans. Where are they meeting then?
今度こそ信用できるっていう保証は
Yeah, this is just a setup. This is really a setup. Fuminori hangs up immediately after speaking his challenge. Yeah, Koji's getting really annoyed here. I can kind of see why. Koji leaps out of his chair and kicks across the room, unable to find any other outlet for his rage. He has no choice but to do what Fuminori says. His stamina is already exhausted, only his obsession is keeping him going. If he allows himself even a moment's rest, he fears that he'll never again find the strength to face this madness. Tonight is his only chance to kill Fuminori. So I genuinely think this choice that we did before, where not to phone Roko, I feel like Koji's gonna die in this route. I genuinely do, because I feel like Koji's just going into this he's just not got a plan at all. Fuminori's gonna set up all this with Saya. Koji knows, of course, that his enemy is planning to ambush him. Fuminori isn't going to fight fair but then neither is Koji. With the unsteady stride of a man half asleep, Koji leaves the Ogai house and heads for his car. This is so eerie looking, this setting, like it's so dark. Only the base of these foothills have been developed for housing. The address Fuminori gave Koji is outside that area, and the thick forest that still covers the mountain's face. Like this is like the perfect area for like Fuminori to hide a body though if he kills Koji though. It's like perfect. His car GPS shows a road that leads nowhere, but according to Fuminori there should be an old abandoned sanatorium there. It's definitely a place that no one could find, not even by accident. Maybe this next stop really will be the last. Koji drives up the steep incline, soon leaving the residential neighbourhood behind. Even though the hands of progress are right as it is its doorstep, the underdeveloped forest is darker than he expected. Yeah, like it'd be so hard I feel like for Koji to even see like Sire Fuminori in this dark. Like they could literally like any point just have ambush him. This looks like a great place to live in secret or to kill someone and hide the body. Yeah, even Koji thinks it as well. Places like this, lost and forgotten, aren't found only in the deep jungles and hidden valleys. Holes in the world are everywhere, even in the midst of civilization. A broken down gatepost suddenly appears in Koji's headlights like a ghost rising from the darkness. It looks like this is his final stop. He rolls up to the gate and turns the engine, giving himself to the silence of the forest. Man, this is so eerie. This is so horror-inducing, man, already. His phone starts ringing almost immediately. He doesn't need to check who's from. Fuminori is nearby, close enough to hear the sound of the engine. A shivering excitement shoots up Koji's spine. Fuminori hangs up without another word. After grabbing his new flashlight from the glove compartment and checking that the revolver is still in his pocket, Koji opens the door and gets out of the car. Yeah, I forgot that Koji does have a revolver. Probably would make it a bit easier to kill, like, Fuminori. Mountains of trash litter the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. Koji sees everything from small refrigerators and mopeds to huge chunks of concrete and plaster that must have been abandoned by construction workers. The fact that they could get away with leaving all this stuff behind shows just how remote this place is. The moon is brighter than usual, allowing Koji to walk through the front yard without tripping on debris. Staying alert, he heads for the building beyond the mountains of trash. God, not this soundtrack again. I feel like it's just so distorted. I don't know what this soundtrack is called, but it's just like horrible. It's just really uneasy. It makes you feel. Something must be buried underneath the piles of garbage, because the whole yard is filled with the sharp stink of chemicals. Even the homeless probably wouldn't come to this place. If you need to get out of the wind and rain, then there's plenty of shelters more suitable. How many times now that he stood like this, alone in some ominously silent place far removed from his everyday life. Sneaking into deathly quiet houses to find traces of unimaginable happenings has become as normal as going to class. The houses that he explored before were like freshly shed cicadas, shells empty and depleted with traces of life that they had sheltered. This place, however, is different. A perfect ruin, its walls and pillars rising from the dark forest like an army of ghosts, with no sign at all that people once lived and worked here. The structure resembles a skeleton more than a shell. Time and that the elements have stripped it of its former shape, and now there's only death. Koji's gone as far as he can. This must be the final stop. What will Fuminori's next move be? He must be planning to kill Koji, but how? Just as he's about to turn on his flashlight, Koji reconsiders. If he wanders around with the light on, he will be broadcasting his exact location. That will give the advantage to Fuminori, who's probably lying in wait for him right now. The only thing is if he doesn't use a flashlight though, he'll not be able to see Fuminori or Saya. Like it's not like he doesn't have a win situation at all in this Koji. Because he's at advantage or disadvantage either way, I think. He holds the light before him on his left hand with his fingers positioned on the switch. In his right hand he raises the revolver, keeping it pointed in the same direction. Now ready to fire, when he turns on the light, Koji steps quietly into the dark room. God, this is really like torn down, this house, so this is really abandoned. It's like everything's like broken. It takes a while for his eyes to adjust, but even when they do, he has only moonlight streaming through empty windows to guide him. Everything appears grey and indistinct. However, Fuminori has to deal with the same conditions as he's hiding here. This is a battle of nerves, exhausting and deadly, where the first to make a sound and give away his position will lose. The rooms on both sides of the hallway are all open, some are even missing their doors. Koji creeps up to each entrance, checks to make sure no one is inside and carefully proceeds on. This is like a haunted house, this though. The stink that you noticed in the garden has changed. Now it smells more organic, like rotten meat. It's the exact same smell that filled Fuminori's house. Oh no. No, what has he just stood on? It just doesn't sound right. Is it the slime that like Saya? I don't know. Koji freezes and stares down the hallway. It was a wet sound that he heard just now, like someone dragging their feet through a swamp. And it came from the room at the end of the hall. Something is there, something is alive. Koji creeps towards the sound, his light and gun at the ready. The only one I can think of it being is Saya maybe, because I know Saya gets slime. Oh, the noise, oh no. Now it sounds like someone's squeezing mud through their fingers, and as he gets closer, Koji begins to hear breathing. Could it be Fuminori? No, that's impossible. He should be waiting for the chance to ambush Koji, not making careless noise. As he proceeds, the strange sound coming through the cracks in the concrete wall grows clearer. Oh no, it is Sai, I think. It's either, no, it's, oh no, it must be Yo, maybe. Is it Yo? Before he knows it, he's standing on the threshold. The room is filled with thick, vicious darkness, just like any other room that he's passed. There is more than just darkness, however, something is there. He can hear Pain's breathing, like that of a wounded animal, and what sounds like sobbing. Sobbing? Oh, Koji is like freaking out. I don't really blame him though. This is horrible for Koji. It's so horrible he has to deal with this. So. Now that he's given away his position, he might as well turn on his light for some reason. However, Koji feels that it would do so would have a disastrous consequences. The last time I heard his voice on the phone, she was sobbing, the wheezing suddenly stops, and then... Wait, Yo can like speak? Like, I wonder if Koji can understand that. A whisper comes from the darkness. Though not a human voice, not by any measure, it speaks some blasphemous semblance of human words. A nightmarish flash of insight connects the dots in Koji's mind. It can't be. Yo doesn't sound like this. She doesn't smell like this. Oh, that's horrible. She's actually wanting to kill her. I don't really blame her. If you came a monster, you just wouldn't want this. But if it's not Yo, then how does it know his name? Why is it begging him for help? No, it can't be Yo. She's human, not some creature that sluthers and hides in the shadows. Ah. The thing wriggles closer, his reason cries out, exploring him to switch the light on before it's too late or to turn and run if he cannot. But Koji's unable to make either choice. He can only call out in vain to enormous shape in the darkness. Oh. Something soft and slimy slides over Koji's toes. Instincts overrides his will, forcing him to turn on the light and shine it at his feet. The white beam reveals everything, the merciless truth that finally shatters Koji's sanity. Oh god, Koji's like going mental. I'm not really surprised. Terra wipes his mind of all but two words, gun and trigger. His finger responds to instant obedience. There is an explosion of light and sound, both more intense than he anticipated, and then the destructive forces are swallowed up by the darkness. His ears are still ringing from the bang, but he hears a weak voice coming from the shadows. Oh god. Koji screams and pulls the trigger again and again, certain that salvation can only come from the barrel of his gun. Oh my god, man. Light and darkness, explosion and silence, they dance before him 3 more times. Koji doesn't even need to aim, the horrible creature is right at his feet, far too close to miss. This music though, this is probably the worst music I've heard yet in this game. Roko warned him how many bullets were left in the gun, but the information has already been driven from his mind. Or is it ammo ready? Even after the cold, heavy gloom wraps itself around him, once more, Koji keeps pulling the trigger like a man possessed, paying no heed to the clicking of the empty weapon. His panic-stricken legs suddenly give out, sending him hard on his backside. Even though he keeps firing the empty gun, he knows no other way to erase the memory of the thing that he glimpsed in the beam of his flashlight. The light which fell from his hand during the attack is now pointing in a different direction, and though all 4 bullets must have hit their target, they were Koji's last hand card to play, which leaves him alone in the darkness with no way to defend himself. And just as he realises this, a massive rotten flesh rolls over him like a tidal wave. Oh! Ugh! Oh! He can no longer even scream as the thing pushes him onto its back. Yeah, I don't blame it. I'd be terrified looking at that as well. Oh, this is horrible. Against the monster as he crawls up in his body towards his face. Covering his face with his left hand, he scrabbles wildly along the floor with his right, searching for a way out that doesn't exist. His mind is that of a feral animal, empty of anything but primal terror. And that is why when his right hand closes around something hard at the last moment, he recognises it instinctually as a weapon. Putting every ounce of his strength into his arm, Koji swings the heavy object at the creature on top of him. Oh, he hears the thud of a blunt object striking something soft and wet, and then Koji's attacker rolls off him. As soon as he is able to move again, Koji leaps to his feet and grabs his new weapon with both hands, brandishing it like a charm to ward off evil. Only now he realises that he's holding a rusty steel pipe. This is horrible that Koji's actually going to kill Yo though. The monster's still sobbing. Oh my god. With a cry that is part scream, part roar, Koji raises the steel pipe and brings it crashing down on the cowering creature. He hears a wet sound and feels the blood-chilling sensation of its thick, soft flesh absorbing the blow. These combine to invoke an instinctive loathing that wipes his mind of all but the urge to destroy. Consumed by the same desperation with which he kept firing the empty gun, Koji rains blow after blow down on his enemy with a noise. Oh man! After the 10th blow, it stops sobbing. After the 20th blow, it stops moving, and after the 13th blow, it begins to feel and sound more and more like he's beating a puddle of vicious liquid. Koji doesn't stop thrashing the creature until he recovers enough of his senses to realise that whatever it must have been before is now nothing but a corpse. The pipe in his hand, covered with unidentifiable fluids and filth, suddenly feels unbearably heavy. 20 years of memories in the light of the sun. If they were indeed precious to him, then he should have never come to this place. The black flames of despair rise within him, consuming fear and repulsion and pity. Only rage and hate remain. Every cell in his body cries out for vengeance, for the blood of a man who poisoned him with truth and tore him from the womb of innocence. And then Koji, slave to hate, hears the sound of someone sneaking up behind him. Koji whirls, swinging his pipe with all his force he can muster. I wonder if this is Fuminori or Saya then. His enemy hastily leaps back to avoid the strike, surprised by his failure to catch Koji off guard. Twisted shadows dance in the beam of the light on the floor. Readying his pipe for the next blow, Koji faces off against the second attacker. Was it Fuminori? Before the moment, Koji could never imagined that he would ever speak his friend's name with such hatred. Oh my, Fuminori just looks, it just looks so messed up in this. Yeah, Fuminori just looks so psychotic with this axe. It really does so. Even now, Fuminori's smiling as though the axe in his hands is just a sick joke. Yeah, I didn't think he would hesitate. I don't think after seeing that though, what you've done to like your friend, you would hesitate with that. I really don't. Koji sneers too, unable to contain his contempt for the notion. Fuminori growls, looking sadly at the pile of dead flesh at Koji's feet. Oh my god, this is gonna like right fight. I thought Saya was just gonna end it, but they're actually having like a right fight here. Oh, the music though! The blade of Fuminori's axe carves a murderous arc through the darkness, glittering menacingly in the faint light coming from the fort. Man, this soundtrack though! This is cool! Koji raises his pipe to block the ferocious swing. The heavy impact numbs his arms, but his large frame takes the blow without giving any ground. Fuminori presses attack, delivering a second blow and a third. His axe, designed for chopping down trees, is deadly and more durable than the piece of pipe Koji found discarded on the floor. He can't win as long as he's on the defence. He needs to create an opportunity to attack. Come on! I don't feel like Koji's going to win, but I feel like Koji's stronger probably than Fuminori though. I feel like it is so. Koji blocks a crushing downward swing, then pushes back hard before Fuminori can pull away, throwing him off balance. Fuminori stumbles backwards, then plants his feet to steady himself. Taking advantage of his opponent's temporary immobility, Koji delivers a punishing low kick to Fuminori's out of 5. Fuminori grunts and retreats, swinging his axe wildly to prevent Koji from following up with another attack. Koji, however, does not press his advantage. He stands where he is, calmly spearing Fuminori with his stare. Yeah, I don't think... Fuminori's probably never been in a fight, has he? Fuminori roars and comes in with another attack, but the damage to his right leg seems to be slowing his swing. Easily blocking the axe with his pipe, Koji waits for Fuminori to exhaust himself. Yeah, I feel like Fuminori doesn't know how to fight at all. Fuminori delivers blow after heavy blow, killing savagely all the while. What he does not realise, however, is that the situation now favours composure, not brute force. Yeah, because Fuminori's going to exhaust himself probably, like quicker than Koji. When Fuminori raises his axe high for yet another attack, Koji sees that his movement is growing dull enough. Seizing the opportunity, Koji charges into Fuminori's range and grabs the haft of the axe, which his left hand. As Fuminori recoils in fear, Koji swings his pipe hard at his enemy's unprotected side. He feels the crush of ribs breaking. Oh god, he broke his ribs. The pain drives Fuminori to his knees. Staring down at Fuminori's defenceless head, Koji is surprised by his lack of emotion. Raises his pipe high to deliver the finishing blow. Oh, Saya. Oh god, Saya's in now. Which is when someone wraps itself around his left ankle. The instant Koji panics at the unexpected sensation, something soft yet strong winds itself around his right leg and drags him to the floor before he can resist. So I definitely think Koji would have won this fight, see if it wasn't for Saya interviewing. Like I think Koji can like easily like beat Fuminori on his own, I think. He twists his body and tries to swing the pipe at the unseen enemy behind him, but his right hand to it is seized by the same flexible force. He wasn't able to feel it through his pants, but now his blood turns to ice at the cold, slimy sensation of the thing wrapped around his uncovered wrist. That monster's still alive?
Saya.
Oh no, it's Saya, yeah. Fuminori says encouragingly. Even when kneeling on the floor, his face twisted in pain, he manages a terrible, victorious grin. This monster's Saya. Koji struggles desperately to free his limbs from the creature's slimy grasp. But more tentacles swarm over his body, stealing his freedom of movement. The horror has already driven Koji half mad. Just imagining the creature's appearance is enough to send him into mindless panic. His scream is suddenly cut off as a slimy appendage seizes his throat. This most deadly tentacle isn't just cutting off his windpipe, it's trying to snap his neck. It's getting tighter. No, I really wanted Koji to win here. Yeah, Koji's dead, I think. Oh, the noise though. My mind is hazy from pain. I watch as Saya feasts upon his slain prey. We've won. It was hard. And I wasn't able to do it alone, but together we've defeated our enemy. So I think the next time, if we do decide to go with Phone Roko first, I think if it was Koji and Roko, I think they would have a better chance of winning. Because Roko's probably quite skilled in with guns, I think. But we just need to see. I don't know what happens at the end of this route, but we just need to have a wee check. The price was steep. At least 2 of my ribs are broken, sending a sharp pain shooting from my chest every time I breathe. And then there's Yo. I didn't expect her to fall to Koji so easily. I suppose that unlike Saya, she must have been unfamiliar with how to use her new body in combat. My injury must have fueled Saya's anger. Her slaughter of Koji was merciless and complete. As soon as her prey stopped moving, she sank her teeth into his vital organs and ruthlessly extinguish the last embers of life. Though her brutal, grisly actions were unbecoming of her girlish appearance, Saya's face covered in blood and gore was that of a victorious queen of beasts, oh my god man, warding over her defeated foe. That was something noble and sacred about her primal ferocity that made me reluctant to disturb her. I don't know how long I've been sitting here watching Saya feast. I've nearly fainted from the pain several times. To be honest, I'm not used to violence. The wounds I suffered in the car accident were worse, of course, but these broken ribs are the most severe injury that's ever been deliberately inflicted upon me. You'd think that Saya could show a little bit more concern for my condition. Koji's already dead as it can be, so there's no reason for her to be so greedy. I suddenly realised that Saya stopped eating. Now she's lying on her back, rolling from side to side. Has she eaten too much? It's been several days since we've had a fresh, unfrozen meat, so I understand where her enthusiasm is coming from. But still, I'm wounded here. She could give me a hand. Because I'm preoccupied with my own selfish wants, I'm slow to realise that something is wrong. Saya isn't resting, she's trembling in agony. Why? My blood goes cold, and the pain from her broken ribs is suddenly forgotten. What's happened to her? I have no idea. I jump up, run to her side, and cradle her fallen body in my arms. Her face is pale and drenched in sweat, and her half-closed eyelids and lips are shivering like she has a fever. I don't think Koji would have done something to his body before going into this. I'm not sure though, but that would affect Sai eating him. What's going on? Was she wounded in fight? Could the meat she just ate had been poisoned somehow? I don't understand. All I know that is something terrible is happening. Saya! I don't really know what's happening. I'm confused as well. Yeah, what is happening to Saya? The only thing I can do is call her name with all my strength. Saya slowly opens her eyes and gazes vacantly into my face. Why should she feel slower? There's no way she's fine. It's glaringly obvious that her condition is dire. Even so, I'm the only one who's panicking. Saya's expression is surreal, as though she understands everything that's happening to her. She even smiles softly up at me. What do you mean it becomes so soon? What? I might lose Saya. The thought is unbearable. Terror and despair are quite quickly overwhelming me. A fear of utter helplessness that I cannot resist. The sign? Huh? I'm so confused, man. Saya answers me tearfully and treatly with a smile like that of a mother comforting her child. I don't think Koji injures her in any sort of way. That's what I'm confused about. I don't know if he did or not. I thought she was like really could recover really easily though. Why did they have to make this sad? But then you know Fuminori and Saya is like the most messed up people in general. You just have to make this sad. Whatever is happening, I just can't sit by and watch as it causes Saya such agony. In a soft voice, she reveals her secret. What? What, Saya can reproduce? I'm so bloody confused now. I'm actually so confused. For a moment, my mind goes completely blank. How does she reproduce? I have no idea. Saya's laboured breathing speaks to the terrible pain her tidy body is suffering. Even so, she wraps her hands tightly around my neck. What, is Saya gonna die giving birth? I have no idea, to be honest. I nod. What else can I do? If I speak, I'm afraid that I'll be unable to hold back my tears. I mustn't cry, not when Saya is facing her torment so bravely. It feels like Saya is burning up in my arms. I feel that the terrible convulsions that shoot through her at intervals will tear her frail body to pieces. Praying for her safety, I scoop Saya up and carry her swiftly out of the ruined building. Maybe the cold night air will soothe her fever, but the hope is futile. Cruelly dashed as her breathing grows shallow and she moans through her bluish lips. In response to my call, she opens her eyes once more. Her gaze is cloudy and unfocused, she can no longer see. Nevertheless, Saya looks at me. I can tell that she's imagined my expression where my face should be. Oh, is that what she meant? It takes every ounce of my willpower, but I manage to make my voice light and cheerful. In Saya's mind's eye, I know that I'm smiling. She won't have to see my face streaked with tears. What do you mean, give this planet? Saya's whisper is weak and painted, but there is an ecstasy in her voice, ecstasy and joy. Her back suddenly shifts, then bulges outwards. What is going on? I thought she was giving birth, but I don't think it is. Like, I'm so confused now, man. I don't even know what's going on. And then Saya blooms. How else can I describe it? Flower petals, long and wide, spread from her back like the wings of a newly formed butterfly. The brilliant glow comes from the countless tiny scales that cover each petal like particles of light. I ask her, careful to keep the sorrow out of my voice. Saya's pain must have already left her, for the expression is definitely peaceful and content. The radiant motes rise in the wind, painting rivers of light in the frozen winter sky. It's beautiful, overwhelmingly painfully beautiful. Singing victoriously of their freedom, the shining seeds of life are released into the vast and fertile land. Their songs heralds the coming of the new world and the destruction of the old. It's a boundless healing. It is an eternal blessing. We shall fill the world with our joy. Embracing Saya's pitifully shrunken body, I gaze into the shining sky and let my tears flow freely. Thank you. Thank you for this final gift, Saya. That's not just it, is it? Yeah, I'm so... what happened? I'm so confused now. I'm actually so confused. Right, so I don't know. I think I'll just end it here now, and we'll see what happens next. But if this route's still going on, but I don't even know what happened there. Like, I don't know if I'll need to look up later or someone can explain to me like what is going on here. But I don't have a clue. I hope the rest of this will maybe give us like a bit more clarity what's going on. But I'm really confused. Like, just beyond confused to know what's going on. But we'll just need to see you next time. So I'll see you in the next episode of Sayonara. Bye!